All right, and I have myself pinned, so I should be the largest picture. I'm gonna move this chair. I got it out thinking I was doing seated Tai Chi for some reason. So I'm jealous of you getting to be outside.
Oh.
We'll just start off opening, closing our hands, walking in place, walking around in your space. I'm trying not to walk forwards and backwards, just because that walking backwards is definitely not recommended for falls prevention. I'm just trying to stay in the camera lens. So I'm gonna do better about practicing staying in place, or even if I take some steps to the side, but not backwards, so I can be a good example.
Okay.
So we got some warm weather today, so I don't have to worry about turning on my heater to warm up the air in my room. It does make a big difference in warming up my muscles.
That's true.
But we just want to be warmed up so that we don't increase our chance of injury whenever we exercise. It's always good. You exercise with warm muscles, and then when you get done, if you can do a little bit more stretching, that can increase your flexibility of your joints.
And I've started doing those things with the fingers that you showed us. Because I have trouble with my hands. It's amazing how it relieves.
Well, good.
Yeah.
So the touching the finger to each, or thumb to each finger, and then we do in that C grip, like you're gripping something. And even if you have a hold on, thought I could easily put my hand on it. Something like these like stress balls. Do you have anything like that? You're in control of how hard you squeeze it. So to squeeze that stress ball, and that can help with your hands too, since you're in control of how hard. So good. I'm glad that I shared something that's useful, that's even outside of Tai Chi. There's just so much that we can do with our bodies that can take care of ourselves. All right, so I think we're nice and warmed up, and we're ready to go through our warm-up stretches. Thinking about our body structure, my feet are about shoulder width apart, probably a little wider. I just feel very stable with my feet wider. It's probably because I have big old thighs, and if my feet are too close together, my thighs touch each other. So this feels stable for me, and it's different for everybody. But find that place where you do feel supported, having your weight on both legs. Make sure we got good posture and a relaxed shoulder. So we're supported, but we're relaxed in our stance. We're not holding tension anywhere. So let's start with our neck by bringing our hands up, palms down, towards our chin and chest. Push away from our body and follow those hands all the way down, feeling a little stretch in the back of our neck. Back up. Breathe through this movement. I like to inhale as I bring my hands up, and then exhale whenever I'm ready, taking twice as long to exhale as it did to inhale. Let's do another neck stretch. Bring those hands towards our chin and chest. The tickling your nose isn't part of the movement. My hair is tickling my nose, so I'm sorry about that. All right, we drop one hand down by our hip, and we follow this hand over towards, as we look towards that shoulder, feeling that small stretch in our neck, and then slowly coming back to the front, switching hands. Looking over that other shoulder, stretching that neck, working on that range of motion of our neck, helping us do things like when we drive and we have to look in that other lane, make sure it's safe. It seems like driving is the one time that really tests the range of motion of my neck.
Oh, yeah.
Or if I'm ever like in a crowd of people, I feel like I'm being cautious of my surroundings, and I'm using that range of motion to look from side to side. I get a little lost on this one sometimes because it feels good to stretch that neck, and my neck's usually kind of stiff. Now, let me talk about this movement a little more for a second. So whenever, I'm going to come closer to the camera. Whenever we're here, this hand is down here by our hip, and we're following this hand as if we were looking in a mirror. So we're following that hand to the side. And, potentially this hand down by our hip, it's engaged because it's not just flopping around down there next to us. But something that we can do to even make the movement more, we have the neck stretch and then kind of a chest opening, is open up. Okay, let me show you. I'm pulling that hand, you see, by my hip. Instead of keeping it here, I'm opening up that chest and then coming back, switching here. So I have my hand by my hip, and as I move my hand to the side, I take this hand by my hip and pull it towards the outside of my body. And if you're trying that, do you feel a little more opening of your chest whenever you do that? So that makes that stretch more. So we're here, opening that chest and stretching the neck, coming back, switching hands, following that hand, stretching that neck, opening that chest. So you don't have to do it that way. That's just a way to make that stretch a little bit more. So that's just a little tip. Use it how you need. Use it how you want to. If you want to do that, you could probably feel a little stretch even in your back as you really stretch open that chest, because the back's on the other side. You'll feel that stretch there too. Probably really between your shoulder blades. I'm sore all the time because I lift weights, and so these stretches always tell me which muscles are stretching because my muscles stay sore. So anyway, those two are for our neck, and that was a little tidbit on how to make that particular neck stretch more. Next, we are going to do our shoulders. So we have our hands to our sides, and we're going to draw little circles as we roll those shoulders forward, small circles, and then roll those shoulders back, small circles, kind of like a massage you give yourself. Make sure you're continuing to inhale in and out. And always end on that roll to the back. It helps reset your posture. If you've ever been in a kind of a funky position and your posture's out of whack, roll those shoulders back and you can reset your posture. Now let's do our other shoulder circle where we bring our hands up, palms up. We don't go any higher than our shoulders. We bring our hands pushed down in front of us. So inhale as we come up and exhale as we push down in front of us. This is a good one to practice gentle resistance, as we can pretend that we're moving through water. So pushing up through water and then pushing down through water helps engage muscle. So sometimes you might want to use this movement just for breath, just for a warm up of that shoulder. And sometimes you may want to engage more muscle and use that gentle resistance, like I said, like you're moving through water or, something that gives you that resistance. As we know, when we're in water, we kind of have to use a little bit more muscle to push ourselves through. All right, let's grab our ball and stretch our spine. We're going to separate the heavens and the earth. The hand on top is going to come down, push towards the ground. The other hand comes up, follows that spine, and pushes up towards the ceiling, keeping a soft bend in that elbow. Come back to that ball. I like to inhale as I come to my ball and then exhale as I separate hands, stretching that spine. Come back to our ball and switch. Back to the ball and switch. Stretching that spine vertically. Don't forget to breathe. When you exhale on the separation, it seems like you can go a little bit further or deeper into that stretch versus holding your breath, which kind of halts that stretch. So inhale as I grab the ball and exhale as I separate. Back to the ball, and last time, switch those hands. Very good. Now we're going to take our ball for a ride. So this is a torso movement, just like waving hands in clouds. We go towards the direction of the hand that's on top, stopping just above that knee, switch our hands, come back across. I like to inhale as I'm switching hands and then exhale as I come across that body. Inhale and exhale. This stretches our spine horizontally. Come back to the middle. Give yourself a little shake as we move on to our lower body exercises, where it definitely challenges our balance. So we're going to shift our weight to one leg. We'll put one heel out, our hands go back, and then we come, pause in the middle, and put that toe back like a kickstand as the hands come up. Pause in the middle as we switch, heel forward, hands back, pause, toe back, hands forward. Oh, let's switch legs. I don't like to do too many because it makes that one leg tired holding our weight. Shift the weight, heel forward, hands back, pause, toe back, hands forward. This really does test those stabilizer muscles as we rely on that one leg to hold our weight. Now let's shift our weight from side to side, stack our hands, moving our hands in the direction of the weight shift and staying within our frame. So what I mean by that is if you had a frame that perfectly matched your body, it would stop about right here. So when I move those hands to the side, I don't go any further than that frame. I don't go way over here, because if I started to go way over here, I would start leaning to the side and that would be like falling, and that goes against what we're trying to do. So we shift the weight, keeping our body upright, and tap that foot out to the side, bring it back, switch our hands, shift the weight, tap, bring it back, switch our hands, shift the weight. I have a nice soft bend in my knees, and that helps me feel more stable. It lowers my center of gravity. So if that helps you, use that little soft bend as you shift that weight. As you pick that foot up especially, that's when I really feel that bend is helping me. Don't get in a hurry as you do these movements, because when you get in a hurry, then you're not engaging the stabilizer muscles. You're using bigger muscles. It's that slowing down that asks your stabilizer muscles, those little muscles that surround your joints, to really step up and work hard. And that's why going slower is so much more difficult than fast. Now, when you go fast, what works hard? Your heart. And so that's leans more towards a cardiovascular exercise. So if you go for a walk, that's when your heart rate gets up. Maybe you ride a bike, your heart rate gets faster. Maybe you do jumping jacks. Maybe you do high knees. Maybe you do shuffle to the side and shuffle to the side. These faster cardio type exercises that get your heart rate up, and that's great for your heart. Your heart is a muscle, and we need our heart to be strong. So we need that kind of exercise. We need the other kind of exercise where maybe we use a TheraBand, or maybe we use light weights, and that helps strengthen our big muscle groups, specifically big muscle groups. As you do repetitions and work with weights, that helps keep your bones strong. And then you have Tai Chi that engages a whole nother set of muscles, because you do it slowly. You engage stabilizer muscles, those small muscles that surround joints, specifically weight-bearing joints, your hips, your knees, and your ankles. So that's important for balance. Then another exercise, as if we didn't have enough to do, right, Miss Gwen? Then we have a whole nother exercise, which is about flexibility. And that's we do some of it in Tai Chi, but a lot of people use yoga to really stretch the muscles, to really push the range of motion of joints. And so that's nice for mobility. So we have lots of choices of exercise, and they're all good for different reasons. So switch it up. And of course, we're in Tai Chi class, but just know that there are other types for other reasons. And that's why it's important in Tai Chi to really work on that slow and smooth, gentle movement, so that you engage the muscles that we're intended to. All right, next for our knee. Do you have any questions about that? I feel like I threw a bunch of information at you.
No, that's great information.
I've been studying this stuff just for myself, of how often do I need to do cardio? How often do I need to do weightlifting? So that I give my muscles proper rest and what they need. And so I want to share the importance of all of it. So I know sometimes it can be overwhelming to try to do all of that and eat healthy and drink water and get plenty of sleep. I mean, I don't know when we do anything. Yeah. So we just do our best. That's all we can ask ourselves. So for our knees, we have our loose fist, whether you keep it down here by your hips or at your waist, as long as you're not holding tension in your shoulders. You're going to shift your weight to one leg. Lift your foot, tap your toe out, and punch that opposite hand, bringing it back. Shift the weight, lift, tap and punch, bring it back, feet side by side, shift, lift, tap and punch, bring it back, shift, lift, tap and punch, bring it back, shift, lift, tap and punch, bring it back, shift, lift, tap and punch, keeping that nice good posture, standing upright, not leaning with any of our movements. There, I caught myself getting a little bit off of balance, and that's okay. I dropped that foot to catch myself, and that's not a problem. going to step forward, heel toe, shift the weight to that front foot as we keep that back foot on the floor. Bring it back, feet side by side, shift, step, heel toe, shift and punch, bring it back, feet side by side, shift, step, heel toe, shift and punch, bring it back, feet side by side, shift, step, heel toe, shift and punch, bring it back, feet side by side, shift, step, shift and punch, bring it back, side by side, and last time, shift, step, heel toe, shift and punch, bring it back, feet side by side. Now for our ankles, we're going to shift the weight to one foot and do heel, toe, heel, toe. So we're rocking that foot, heel, toe. Bringing that foot back, shifting the weight, and heel, toe, heel, toe. You'll probably feel some muscles stretching in your calf and in your shin as you stretch the ankle joint, since all those muscles are connected. Shift the weight, and now let's do big toe, little toe. So side to side. This helps with circulation of your legs. If you're ever sitting down a lot, just move these feet back and forth so that you have some circulation in your legs. Shift the weight, and other foot, little toe, big toe, working that foot side to side. All right. Nice. Ma'am?
I did the opposite, but
that's okay. You've been doing it a long time, so you know what these movements are, and you could probably do it without me doing all that talking.
That's fine. Continue to talk.
As long as we do it. Yeah. All right. So we're gonna do our basic 6, and then if you want to continue working on our brush knee. Didn't we start working brush knee last week?
We did.
Okay, I thought so. I didn't think I dreamed that. So we'll do our basic 6 several times. If you want to stay here, that's fine. If you want to work on brush knee, we can do that. I'm letting you lead me in what you need and would like to spend time doing. So here we go. Checking in with ourselves, with our body structure, making sure that we are upright, holding our weight on both legs. We're not holding any tension. We're breathing as we prepare ourselves to do our basic 6. And commence. Open and close. Single whip. Waving hands in clouds. Open and close. Single whip. Waving hands in clouds. Open and close. And close it out. So something came to mind as I was doing those basic 6, and that was a reminder of finish the movement. So whenever we, specifically, I thought that at that single whip. So whenever I did that, shift, step, push, turn, separate. So I'm going to completely finish that movement before I go down to get ready for waving hands and clouds. And I think sometimes whenever we're stuck in slow, smooth, continuous, when we're thinking continuous, maybe we get in the hurry to continue on to the next movement, so we don't completely finish the movement. And I'm not saying that you do, because honestly, I can see movement from you, but like you're this big and I'm like 10 times as big. So I see myself, because I want me to be on the recording. So I'm not saying you are doing that. I'm just saying it crossed my mind to make sure that I completely finish that movement, boom, before I start and go into that next one. So let's do that this time, and really thinking about completing the movement. And then, yes, it's done. There's a period on the movement, but then I immediately begin to move to the next one. Whenever we do waving hands and clouds, same thing. I get here, make sure I completely go there before I switch, and go all the way back there before I switch. Don't get in a hurry to do this and not do the complete movement, because then you're cheating yourself out of the full, like using your range of motion of your spine in that movement. So you'll get more out of it if you complete the movement. Okay, here we go. From the top, basic 6, and commence. Open and close. Single whip. Waving hands and clouds. Open and close. Single whip. Waving hands and clouds. Open and close. Did you notice anything about your movements in terms of finishing the whole movement?
Yeah, I concentrated more on finishing it before
I caught myself in another space where I was trying to like get in a hurry, and that was on that last waving hands and clouds, on that last turn. Well, it would be this way. That last turn before you go to open and close, it would be so easy if you weren't paying attention to come turn and then open and close, rather than going all the way, then open and close. So it's not a big deal that whether you stop that last turn here or here, you know, it's like a whole inch. But like I said, you cheat yourself at a little bit of that range of motion of your spine by not finishing it and then coming back to the middle for that open and close. So it's just as we get better and better at our Tai Chi, that's those little tweaks that we make. You know, it's not a big deal in the beginning, but as we tweak it and make it better, those are the things we pay attention to. Always going back to our principles, thinking slow, smooth, and continuous. As we end one movement, we're immediately going to that next movement. Something that I really didn't work on until I knew my movements was gentle resistance. And that's whenever we move and we go through the whole movement as if we're in water. You know, you really push yourself through water that whole time, and that engages more muscle than if you don't. So let's try it that time, or this time, as if we are in water, whether your head is out of the water and you're breathing air, or you're some kind of special mermaid that can breathe underwater. So we're moving through water as we do our basic 6, which encourages gentle resistance. Okay, here we go. And commence. Open and close. Single whip. Waving hands in clouds. Open and close. Single whip. Waving hands in clouds. Open and close. And close it out. So if you entertained me and pretended that you were going through water, did you feel extra muscles working in your arms?
Yeah.
I felt it as I was, you know, pushing and coming up, you know, thinking about how water, you know, makes that sound as you move it and you push through it. It really did engage more muscles in my arms, and that was all in my head. That's amazing what our brains can do just thinking that we're in water. We can use muscles. So our brains are very powerful. Yeah. All right. Anything about basic 6 that you have questions on or want to work on or focus on?
I'm fine. I'm comfortable with the basic 6.
Okay. You want to go to our brush knee?
Yes.
Okay. Do you want to start with arms or feet?
We can start with the arms.
Okay. So with our arms, we're coming from open and close. Okay, let me think a second about mirror image. So whenever we do our brush knee, the first time we're going to the left. And in mirror image land, that's my left. And so we'll be moving that way. So we're coming from open and close, and that first movement, I call it lay hands. And the right hand is gonna lay down just right in front of me. This right hand goes lay down right in front of me. My left hand comes, lays over and protects that elbow. So my hands go from facing each other and then they lay over, boom. So my hand is protecting that elbow and this is palm up. So that's that first movement of our brush knee. So lay hands here. And we're going to separate hands. So my left hand's going to come down by my hip. Then my right hand is going to come around like I'm throwing a pitch, putting a pie in somebody's face, and then going into you liked stop in the name of love. Boom, like that. Easy peasy. When we separate our hands and feet, we have no problems. It's when we go putting them together that we're like, ah. All right, so here we go. So we're here from open and close, brush knee. We lay hands, separate hand, and bring that right hand around, throwing a pitch or a pie, and stop in the name of love. Easy, right? We got that.
Yeah.
Very good. So I'm here, open and close, brush knee, lay hands, separate, and throw that pitch, stop in the name of love. I'm a baseball mom, so I can't help but say throw the pitch. Yeah. We can throw anything. But it's that full range of motion where I'm going, just to show you from the side, here, and then this arm comes back and around, and boom. Still that soft bend in the elbow. We're not out. Oh God, that hurts. Out. We're not there because that is a harsh joint. Obviously that hurt me. So it's a soft elbow, push it out. And that's true in any of the movements that we do in Tai Chi. We never put hands completely straight out. We always keep a soft bend. We try to keep one in our knees, but we always have that soft bend in our elbow. So again, open and close, brush knee, lay hands, separate, bring that hand around, and stop in the name of love. Good deal. Now the feet. Let me move the computer down. See if I can do mirror image on my feet. So we're going to the left. So whenever we turn our right foot, we point it in the direction at which our body's trying to go. So we're going from the front to the left. That's our goal. So without standing here and just jumping, that's not Tai Chi. So we have to go from here, shifting our weight back and forth on our feet so that we smoothly shift the weight and make the transition from facing forward to facing to the left. All right, so let me pull my pants up so you can see my feet. All right, so my feet are about shoulder width apart. I'm going to shift the weight to my left foot, and I'm going to turn my right toe in. See, that's that arrow. That's what I think of it as. I think of that toe pointed that way as an arrow because that's the direction I'm trying to go. Now I shift the weight to back to my right foot, and I have a choice here. I can either bring this left foot back and then make the step, or I can go from here to make the step. I noticed that what I do is I bring the foot here and then step. But whatever feels comfortable for you, to go from here to here, or from here, here, here. So it's just that transition move. Either one is right.
Okay.
So are you comfortable turning that toe in, or do you like the method where you step out? You like the toe in? Okay, good deal. All right, because that's a modification if you have problems with your knees. So what we're gonna shift left, right toe in, shift right, bring that left foot back, and then we're stepping to the side. So by stepping to the side, I just mean we're changing the direction. We're going from front to facing that left, stepping towards that left way. That makes sense?
Yeah.
So, okay, so I'm here. I shift left, right toe in, shift right, left foot back, and step. Now I shift my weight to my left foot, and I follow step right. So, all right, we'll talk about that in just a second. So let's just keep going over that footwork where we shift left, right toe in, shift right, left foot back, then step, shift left, follow step right. All right, let's do it a couple more times. Shift left, right toe in, shift right, step left, shift, follow step right. All right, how do you feel about that?
Comfortable.
Very good. Okay, so let me go through this again, and then at the end, I'll talk about weight. So we're shifting left, right toe in, shift right, step left, shift left, follow step right. So when I just follow step right, you see my right foot is further back than my left. And what you don't know is that there's no weight on that right foot. All my weight is still on my left foot. My heel is down. There's just enough space for a little piece of paper. Now, if you need to have some weight on this right foot, that's okay. That's not a problem. You'll just have to remove it in order to do the next step. But because of stability and balance, sometimes you got to give it a little bit of weight. So let's do it again. Brush knee feet, shift left, right toe in, shift right, step left, shift left, and follow step right. All my weight's on my right foot. So there's no weight right there. In the perfect world. Okay. That's our footwork. Now we're going to put the two together. This is the fun part.
Okay.
But whenever we put, when we put our stuff together, so we know the handwork, you know, we know we're lay hands, separate, bring it back, boom, we know that. And we know the footwork where we shift, turn, shift, step, shift, boom. So we've done all the movement there. Now we'll break it down together.
Okay.
So here, we're coming from open and close. We shift left. And when we turn that right toe in, that's when we lay our hands. So we come here, shift, right toe in, lay hands. So we get comfortable with just that first movement of hands and feet together. Here, shift, right toe in, lay hands. Feeling those two together. All right, so we know our next movement for our hands is separate hands, right? We know with our feet, we shift right so that we can step left, right? We know what we have to do. It's just how do we meet the hands and the feet together? Here, here, shift. Whenever I bring my foot back, that's when I separate. That's where the name brush knee comes from. In case you're wondering, it almost feels like you're brushing ear because you're bringing that hand around kind of by your ear to do that stop in the name of love. But right, this is the knee we're brushing. Okay. So, and what's happening in the world of Tai Chi that is comes from a fight, a martial art, is someone is trying to kick us in the knee, and we're taking our hand and we're swiping their hand away. That's the basis of this movement. It's not really what we're doing because we're not fighting, but that's the basis of this movement. And that's why it's called brush knee, because we're brushing that person's foot away from our knee. So we're here, shift, turn, shift. There's that brush knee as I come down, come to my hip, step. Now as I shift, that's when I throw that pitch and follow step. So the follow step happens at the end of your pitch. Stop in the name of love is when you follow step. So whenever you're here, shift left, right toe in, lay hands. Shift right, bring that toe back as you separate hands. Step left. Now you're going to shift left as you throw that pitch and follow step. So how does that feel coming together?
Feels okay, but I got to start from where you, after you hear, going here and remember to turn this in.
Okay, so remember in our advanced movement, this is my opinion, but because we're going from facing this way to facing this way, in my opinion, brush knee is the hardest move in our advanced movements. So once we tackle this one, just know after that, we're doing such as play the lute, parry, parry, punch. So we're going one direction. We're not coming back and forth until the end when we come back to the front. But just hang in there that this one is the more difficult one of our advanced movements. You're at brush or at open and close. Shift left, right toe in, lay hands. Shift right, bring that left toe in as I separate hands. So let's just go to that point. So whenever we separate hands, we're opening up our bodies to get ready to move in that direction. Because before, whenever we're here, we're kind of closed off to the front, right? So whenever we separate, that naturally moves us into the direction we're trying to go. So just feel that as you separate this time. So we're here, we shift left, right toe in, lay hands. Shift right, bring that left foot in, separate hands. So doesn't that feel like we're going that direction now, right?
Right.
We're going from here, close to the front, to here, where we're ready to go places. So that next move is step. And then shifting as I throw that pitch. Let's say, and because all of this is based on a martial art, let's say that I'm actually going to hit somebody. Am I going to just throw my hand out there to hit somebody, or am I going to put my whole body into that hit? Am I going to go, boom, I'm going to go right into that hit. I'm going to put all my weight in that direction, not just my arm. So think about that when you're thinking about that weight shift. And that's the basis of the movement. So when we go here, we're getting ready to throw a punch. We're getting ready to hit somebody. So here, let's shift the weight as we throw it. Shifting that weight, then follow step. Okay. So think of, and that's true whenever we do commencement. When we come up, down, shift the weight. When we go out, we shift the weight. So the direction of that hand movement matches the weight shift that's happening at the bottom. So let's practice that a few times, our brush knee. Here from open and close. Shift left, right toe in, lay hands. Shift right, left foot back, separate. Step left, shift as I throw that pitch, and follow step. Just takes practice. You got this.
Okay.
Shift left, right toe in, lay hands. Shift right, separate hands, bring that left foot back. Now step left, throw that pitch as I shift the weight, and follow step right. Let me do it. Let's do it without talking. Let's see if that's helpful. Brush knee. So I tried to make the movement choppy so that as you learn, you chop up the movements and then you make it more smooth. Well, let's do it again without me talking. Making it a little choppy with the movement. Open and close. Brush knee. One more time, coming from open and close. Brush knee, shift, turn lay hands, shift, separate, step, shift as I throw that pitch, follow step.
Can you talk it through instead of just?
I sure can.
When I shift, open, close, turn here. 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 Here.
Yep.
All right. But this arm is going here.
That's very close. All right. We're right here. Shift right. Oh, sorry. Shift left. I forgot about mirror image. Shift left. Right toe in, lay hands. Shift right. Separate our hands as we bring that toe back. Now we're going to step left. Bring this arm around as we shift to that left foot. Then follow step right. So make sure that that follow step is further back. That follow step of your right foot is further back than your left.
Right.
Not beside, but back.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason why is it sets us up for our next move. So let's practice it one more time and then we'll do cool down since it's 11, and just revisit your the video if you want to. You can get on my YouTube and specifically, no, you can't because I haven't done brush knee yet. Let me make myself a note.
Okay.
Brush knee video.
Because I have to get on YouTube for it.
So you can get on YouTube and rewatch this video. It'll be called SOWEGA April 5th, 2022. It'll be today's date with SOWEGA in the front. You can fast forward to closer to the end and just rewatch this section to be helpful until I can get a brush knee video up. So let's do it one more time, then we'll cool down. So we're here at open and close. Shift left, right toe in, lay hands. Shift left, shift right, separate hands, bring that left foot back, step left, bring that right hand around, shift as I throw that pitch, follow step right. You can tell when I've done it too much. I'm messing up right and left. I'm gonna do it one more time just to make sure, because I think I messed that up. All right, here we go. Open and close. Shift left, right toe in, lay hands. Shift right, bring that left foot back, separate hands. Step left, bring that arm around, throw the pitch as I shift left, and follow step right.
Okay.
You'll get it. You'll get it. It takes practice. And just remember, give yourself grace. It's called an advanced movement because it's an advanced movement. It's not easy. It's not basic. There's a lot going on there. Break it down best as you can. Practice the top, practice the bottom, practice putting it together, and you'll get it. Just takes practice. I know you can because you want to, and that makes a big difference. All right, let's create tension and then let it go. We don't want to carry around tension. Excuse me. Create tension and let it go. Create tension and let it go. Big breath. Inhale and exhale. One more. And exhale. We have our fist that represents our strength, our friendship, humility, and putting them together in mutual respect, we say namaste. Thank you, Ms. Gwen. Please let me know if I can do anything for you. And if I don't hear from you, I'll see you next Tuesday.
Okay, I'm going to practice it.
Okay, sounds good. I love you.
All right, be careful with the weather in case y'all get any.
Thank you. You too.
All right.
All right, bye-bye.